What is up? It is Big Char Trades back with another video, and in this video I am going to be uncovering the whole journey of becoming a profitable trader, going from nothing, knowing nothing about trading, having no experience in the market, to getting payouts and being a profitable one. Okay, and this is just going to be a general timeline, so regardless of where you're at, if you just started trading, if you haven't yet, or if you plan to, then this video is going to help you 1000%. And there is a little special surprise at the end of this video that's definitely going to change the way you see everything. Alright, so how does the trading journey start? Well, you're probably like anywhere from 17 to 19 years old, maybe you're a little older, whatever age you are. You're just sitting there, you're doing your work that you normally do that has nothing to do with trading, and one of your friends starts talking about this thing that he's made a ton of money with, and you've seen on the internet many times, but you still have no idea what it is. You have never done it, you don't know how it works, you don't even know how to make money from it or anything, right? You don't understand prop firms, you don't even know what prop firms are. Whatever it is, you have no fucking idea. And as the days go on, you see how he makes money every day. You see, the ups and the downs. He's your close friend, so you understand, all the days aren't green. Obviously, it's not like a get-rich-quick scheme, and you know it because you're not a dumbass, okay? But you see it. Right, you see him making money over time. And as the days go by, as you talk to him more and more, you get a little more and a little more interested in what this is. You start doing a little more research. Maybe you open up YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, whatever. And a few weeks go by and you're a little bit more interested. So what do? You're like, okay, I'm gonna actually start looking into this. First, you call your friend, you talk to him, you ask him a few questions. He tells you should get into it. It's a good idea. It's how he's making money, and he knows that you're capable of doing it because he's done it, right? So you ask him more questions, he fills you in. Everything's still a little bit confusing. You still don't understand all the terms and stuff, but you're getting a little bit more comfortable with the idea of what trading is. And that's when the research begins. You find out about ICT's 2022 mentorship. You're literally watching every single video because this guy's a fucking sauce god. Even though each video is like an hour long, you start watching them one by one by one. Eventually you knock out the whole playbook. You filled an entire notebook with notes from his videos. 2 months go by. You haven't been able to focus on just trading because you also have your work, your job, other stuff that you've been focusing on, maybe school, whatever. So you finally decide after 2 months to go ahead and start trading. Well, what do? You decide to skip the whole demo trading phase thing and just buy an evaluation account off the bat. Because in your head, you've already acquired all this knowledge. You're a fucking genius at this point, right? There's no way anything could go wrong. So you start trading, you buy your first eval, you blow it in the first day. Another day goes on, buy another eval. You get it to like, you're buying 50K accounts, you get it to like 51,200, and then you take a bad trade and you blow the whole thing. And at this point, you don't really understand anything other than the technicals, right? Which is the easiest part, right? So you're missing out on all the psychology stuff. You don't know how much you should be risking per trade. You don't know how many trades you should be taking in a day. All you're seeing is these people online making money with trading, and you're like, oh shit, like I'm just gonna start doing this. I'm gonna start taking good trades, right? At this point, you're like 3 months in, you still haven't passed an eval, you still keep buying them because you're like, I need to figure this shit out, right? And as the time goes on, you still don't really understand prop firm rules because those are a little bit difficult at first, right? Like the consistency rule and the winning days and blah, blah, blah. Why at some firms can you pass in 1 day, but others you have to pass it 2, blah, blah, blah. And as time goes on, you get a little bit more familiar with all these rules and everything just from experience in the market. At the same time, you're also becoming a better trader because you're learning about how to actually manage your psychology. You're learning about the mindset, how many trades you should be taking a day, how much risk you should have. You learn about sizing. You learn about all of these things that come from experience on the charts. And at this point, you're like 3.5 months in and you're on the edge of passing your first evaluation account and you blow the whole thing. And at this point, you're pretty discouraged. You're like, I don't know if this shit's gonna work. At this point, you've gone through like 10 evaluation accounts. But I'm gonna keep trying. At the 4.5 month mark, you finally fucking pass your first eval, okay? You're at 4.5 months into trading. You finally pass your first eval. And in your head, you're like, holy shit, like I can do it. I passed my first eval. But then you blow the fucking funded account because you don't know what you're doing. Because Because yeah, you passed the eval, but like you've only been trading for 4.5 months, so you're still not psychologically advanced enough to like know when to stop trading every day. You still can't handle taking a big loss on an A+ setup. You still don't really know that much about sizing, and you got funded, yeah, but you didn't get a payout, right? You still don't know how to manage yourself, so it's practically impossible to make this work. Then after you blow that funded account, you get stuck. You get stuck in that trading phase where you have no idea why you can't pass an eval. You're just stuck trading fake money, getting pissed at yourself, being psychologically fucked because you're trading fake money over and over and over and over again with no luck. At this point, you're like 5.5 months in, 6 months in, and it gets to the point where you're literally buying evaluation accounts every single day for a whole entire month because you're blowing them in one day because you're trying to pass them fast, because as time goes on, you're spending more and more money on evals, and your trading is getting worse and worse because you're getting psychologically fucked because you're still trading evals and you should be funded and you've been funded before so you could do it again, and you're trading all this fake money, wasting all this time. And what happens? You finally fucking pass another funded. Right? Not just one funded. Maybe you've gotten to the point where you've passed multiple fundeds. Right? Maybe you're trading with 4 accounts now. And at this point, you're switching. You're switching strategies because you found what you're comfortable with. You found what works for you. You found your utopia with trading. Like, trading is getting easier for you because you've now developed a strategy that you were previously trading into a strategy that combines that with what works for you. Right? Maybe you've adjusted where you set your TPs, right? Maybe you've adjusted your RR or your win rate, and you have the back testing to prove it. So now you're at this point where you're like 6 months in, 7 months in, and you're trading these funded accounts, and you finally get your first payout. 7 months in, you finally get your first payout. And at this point, you're feeling like you're on top of the world because you got your first payout. And then right after you get your first payout, a couple days later, you get second, third, and fourth payout. And then a week later, you get your 5th payout. And then you blow those accounts because that's just how the game goes. And then you get funded again, but this time it's extremely easy, right? This time you can pass an eval like that because you've been in the trenches for like 7 months straight, and you understand. And you understand that like you have the ability to get funded. You have the ability to get payouts. And you're not gonna get stuck in that eval jail buying evals every single day because you understand that it's okay to take a little bit longer with your evals if need be, because you have gotten a payout and you have gotten funded. And then as time goes on, you get more and more payouts, you get more and more funded. Now you have max allocation on Top Step, right? You're trading with 8, 9, even 10 funded accounts at a time. And you're in a place with trading where you feel like even if shit does hit the fan, you're gonna be okay. You wanna know the craziest thing about this story? Remember at the beginning when I said there's a huge surprise at the end? This is my story. This is A to Z my story. This is exactly how I got to where I was. Now, you see how it wasn't streamlined. You see how it wasn't like I just became profitable overnight. Do you know how many times I wanted to quit? How many times I was failing? How many accounts I've blown? How many times I've texted one of my friends, bro, I can't do this shit anymore, I'm hopeless. Like, does this shit even work? You know how many times I've thought of, oh my God, do any of these people online even make money trading? Because I can't even fucking fathom making money trading. You know how many times I've had that thought in my head? There are so many lows. There are so many lows. You might be having a low right now, but the highs that come after those lows makes everything worth it. Because just the fact that I can sit here on my computer for 30 minutes to an hour every morning, and there's a chance that I could make, a week's worth salary in one day, then that's a W in my book. That makes it all worth it. I don't care if this process took me 7 months, like it did, to become profitable. I don't care if this process took me 3 years. I know myself, I would have endured the pain every single day. In fact, the more pain that I endured, the more profitable I would become. Because if you're stuck in that phase where you're not making any money and you're hopeless, right? If you're stuck in that phase, you are learning lessons that you will eventually learn anyway. So why wouldn't you prefer to learn those now while you're still not making money than learn those in a way that hurts you more? If you take anything away from this video, please take away the fact that All this shit you see on social media is not fucking real. Yes, people make money trading, but no, it does not happen overnight. It does not happen in 30 days. It does not happen in 90 days. Okay, for some people, it doesn't even happen in a year. I consider myself lucky that I had a mentor from the start who taught me everything, right? And I started growing on social media from the start, posting, documenting my journey. That helped me a lot because people, good traders, would see me and they would reach out and ask me how trading's going and they would give me advice. Shit, there were days that I would spend with some traders in Miami where I'm like, dude, I'm such a fucking idiot. I'm such a fucking idiot. I just keep making the same mistakes over and over again. Why can't I learn the easy way? Why do I keep having to learn the hard way by fucking myself over every single fucking day? I've thought about fucking being hopeless about trading. I've thought of quitting. I've thought of everything in the book. This is not a process that happens overnight. This is also not a process for the weak. The weak people will quit. The weak people are the ones that start trading and give up because it's too hard. Do you really want to be that person?